Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Lewis Sports Network. Listen, hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Make sure you guys like, make sure you hit that subscribe, your notifications are turned on. I'm getting right through the pleasantries and the introductions. Stephen A. Smith, I had to expose his ass tonight because of the video I saw from the Extremely Stupefied Peons Network, aka Disney, on pretty much his flip-flopping of you know who. Let's take a listen to what he had to say last year and why the Lakers were failing to make the playoffs from the time that you know who came back.
Biggest problem with the Lakers.
Max Kellerman, biggest problem with the Los Angeles Lakers is LeBron James.
Oh.
Let me say this.
Oh.
As we sit here right now today.
Excuse me.
I was not
Did
expecting
you
that
just
answer, by the
say
way.
that the biggest problem with the Lakers is LeBron James?
Did I stutter? The biggest problem with the Los Angeles Lakers is LeBron James. And keep that camera on me because I got a lot of stuff on my mind that I need to get off my chest. From this day forward, we're going to stop calling LeBron James the best player in the world. We're going to stop that right now. LeBron James is obviously great. The Mount Rushmore and all of that other stuff. I mean, do I need to put up the ticket for you? Because God forbid I'm critical now. God forbid I do that. God forbid that I say, oh my goodness, LeBron James, that I point out that he ain't playing his defense on too many occasions. That guys are blowing by him. That guys are salivating for the opportunity for LeBron James to be defending them so they can abuse him because he's not 100% healthy. We recognize that, okay? And what I'm primarily saying about him not being the best player in the world right now is because LeBron James is not 100% healthy. Okay? If he's 100% healthy and he's got that extra motor in him, then that would be different. But age, attrition, or injury, something is not right. He doesn't look like himself. I understand that Kuzma isn't giving me what I expected from him over recently. Even though Brandon Ingram dropping 27 one game, 29 another, 32 last night, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is he's too inconsistent. Lonzo Ball is injured. Luke Walton is a problem. He's a liability right now because I don't understand how you sit up there and you get a guy, in a trade like Muscala or somebody, and he plays when you first acquire him, and then he's got a whole bunch of DNPs before last night for crying out loud, okay? I don't understand how Lance Stevenson can be balling in the first half and doesn't see but a second of playing time in the second half. So there's a lot of things to point out, but guess what? LeBron James would overcome it, the great LeBron James, the greatest player in the world. The king, young king. Sorry to sound like my man Shiggy, but it's the truth. Young king, okay? The greatest player in the world. Where is he? The fact of the matter is that we are seeing LeBron James, and we're hearing a bunch of sound bites. We're seeing 8 for 23 shooting like last night. We're seeing him call cats out. But LeBron James has overcome lesser rosters. Now, he's in the Western Conference, so it's a different ballgame. And maybe that has something to do with it. But at age, maybe the fact he's 34 years of age, maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know what the case is. But all I'm saying is to you is I'm looking at the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm watching this team perform. And regardless of the inconsistencies, the inability to shoot the basketball, whatever the case may be, tell me one thing that you're seeing from the rest of them that was not anticipated. What we didn't anticipate is that LeBron James would look less than what we know LeBron James to be. Now, again, I'm attributing most of it to injury. But damn it, there's other dudes that are playing in this league. And even if it's because you're injured, there are dudes, mainly your boy, the Greek Freak, mainly a Paul George, to a lesser degree of James Harden. Don't get me started with Kevin Durant, okay, and Steph Curry and what them boys have been doing. LeBron James, we are going to stop this right now in terms of calling him the best in the world based on the present moment. The last several years, yes. The beginning of the season, yes. Since he's come back, he does not look like himself, and we're going to call it like that. We're going to call it like that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Stephen A. last year in talking about LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers when LeBron came back from the supposedly groin injury. Now, for some inexplicable reason, now let's take a listen to LeBron James in where he, not LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith, and where he says there is no gap between LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Really take a listen to this.
And just because he gets
Stephen A., how big is the gap between LeBron and everybody else?
Well, let me say this to you. There is no gap between LeBron James and Kevin Durant as far as I'm concerned. That's the one thing where Max and I are different. Now, you want to talk about the Greek Freak? I felt like LeBron James was the MVP. I don't think the Greek Freak is on his level. We talked about Kawhi Leonard. Don't get me started with Max and his mea culpa after, proclaiming Kawhi Leonard to be the guy. That's why I was getting on Max earlier. Because the thing to me that's unforgivable that Max did is that he took the crown from LeBron because LeBron was injured and out of the playoffs. He said, I'm going by what I said. I said, like, damn, he got hurt. His team ain't in the playoffs. They were top 4 seed before he got hurt.
Let me rewind that back real quick.
Playoffs. He said, I'm going by what I said. I said, like, damn, he got hurt. His team ain't in the playoffs. They were top 4 seed before he got hurt in his first season in LA.
Stephen A., you wasn't keeping that same energy last year. What happened this time around? Did y'all catch that? This is why I say that when you have certain people in the media, you got to keep receipts with them. You see how he blasted LeBron James last year and the Lakers last year? Keep in mind that this is pre-Anthony Davis. Now that Anthony Davis has been traded from Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart and Brandon Ingram, now look what Stephen A. Smith does a complete 360 and says,
because LeBron was injured and out of the playoffs. He said, I'm going by what I said. I said, like, damn, he got hurt. His team ain't in the playoffs. They were top 4 seed before he got hurt in his first season in LA.
So, just after I heard that, I got to ask you, Stephen A. Snitch, who paying you, son? Who paying you? Who's paying you? Because the proof is in the pudding right there. Who's paying? Because how do you say the stuff that you said last year? Did people forget that Stephen A. went on his own radio talk show and he blasted the hell out of LeBron James after LeBron, his quote-unquote therapist, came out on Instagram and said that the injury that LeBron had was supposed to keep him out in 6 months, and he came back in 6 weeks? Go watch that video and look how Stephen A. criticizes the hell out of LeBron. Now he wants to use the 4-place narrative this season when it comes to not only the MVP, but now in the position that the Lakers are in, 1 win away from an NBA championship. Unbelievable. This is why I continue to say to keep that same energy.
Because he gets injured and goes down, you just gonna forget all that LeBron has done? You got to be kidding me. I'm not going to do that to KD, despite the fact that it is an Achilles tear. This is a dude like LeBron. LeBron's averaged 27 for his career. So has KD. LeBron's averaged 7 rebounds for his career. So has KD. Oh, by the way, KD is a considerable better 3-point shooter. And don't get me started with the free throw line. I mean, it's night and day between them two from the free throw line. KD is a scoring specialist. Now, obviously, there's more that comes to the game of basketball than that, okay? And we understand that. But what I'm saying to you is this. When you talk about needing a bucket, when you talk about clutch time, you need a bucket. You need somebody to finish. You need somebody that's a sniper. I think KD is that dude. I don't think it's Kawhi. I don't think it's the Greek Freak. I don't think it's James Harden. Even though he's the greatest shooter that I've ever seen in my life, I don't think it's Steph Curry. I don't think any of those dudes. But the one person that I would sit up there and put, like, if he were healthy and he's on the court in an even playing field against LeBron James, and I sit up there and I'd sit back and get my popcorn ready, it would be Kevin Durant.
So let me get this straight, Stephen A. Snitch. You criticize Kevin Durant for going to Golden State, right, in free agency because of the fact that he left OKC, the team that he, had a 3-1 lead over the Golden State Warriors. You're pushing the Greek Freak to go to Golden State currently right now. And after what you said about LeBron James last year, you then come out and now you're getting on Max Kellerman because you're talking about how LeBron was hurt and the Lakers were 4th. This is what I'm talking about, folks. These media heads, they flip-flop. Stephen A. is trying to play both sides of the mouth. The fact that he criticized Kevin Durant on TV and said, you didn't want to make an enemy out of me, I still remember that segment. Yet now he wants to heap Kevin Durant's praises because he's the one guy that could go one-on-one with LeBron James. See, but people call me a hater, and yet I got the receipts right here online. And guess who decides to do it? The extremely stupefied Peons Network. This is exactly what I've been talking about. If people really do their research and actually listen to what these media clown heads actually say, you would actually get a clue to understand why I say the things that I say. He criticized the hell out of LeBron last year. Now he wants to use the fourth place narrative and now wants to say how LeBron is doing all these great things. I wasn't hearing none of that last year. And now he's heaping praises with Kevin Durant when this was the same dude that he ripped apart on national TV when Kevin Durant went to Golden State. But now he wants Giannis Antetokounmpo to leave the Milwaukee Bucks to join Golden State. This is what I'm talking about, folks. See? Open your eyes and wake the F up. This is exactly what I'm talking about. These media heads, they flip-flop every single time. The Chris Broussards, the Max Kellermans, who was all up on Kawhi, and now he ain't got nothing to say because he's still trying to hang on to Kawhi, despite the fact that Kawhi and the Clippers and PG blew a 3-1 lead. And yes, and that overrated coach in Doc Rivers blew a 3-1 lead. And look at Stephen A. Snitch. So, I just told y'all right here. You heard it right here on the Lewis Sports Network. This tape was from pretty much earlier today, and that was with Kendrick Perkins and Max Kellerman and Molly Kiram. So, Stephen A., I got you, bro. Bingo. End of discussion. Have a wonderful night, everybody.